What's up, guys? So, some of you may know that the Evolve Alpha was released on Friday the 31st, and it's been running for a few days. So, I had the option to try it, and I've got to say it's a pretty cool game. It revolves around a 4-player co-op, whereas the 4 players have to work to kill the monster. In this alpha, there was only the Goliath that you can choose from my own knowledge, unless maybe you could unlock another one. I'm not too sure. I didn't get too much into it. But other than that, it's a pretty basic game, but it heavily revolves around teamwork and making sure that you can work with your teammates to capture the monster before he gets to doing what he needs to. So with that being said, let's take a look at the classes. Alright, the first class that I got to play was the Assault class, and the Assault class is basically the damage dealer of the group. He's armed with a lightning gun, a assault rifle, a temporary shield, and fire mines. The major damage that you'll be doing is the lightning. That's what you wanted. That's your bread and butter right there. As you can see, it's just plowing through shields and everything. Now the fire mine is great to set up to deal additional damage. It's probably better to set those up before you know the monster is coming. But if you just get into a confrontation, throw a few down when you're waiting for your lightning gun to get recharged again. Alright, the next class I got to play was the Trapper, and this one is you're meant to control the monster. You're meant to lay down the mobile arena, making sure that the monster can't escape, that you have a place to fight him in and a location, and then pretty much just want to control where he goes. You also have like an SMG type of gun that deals moderate damage. It's not as much as any of the assault classes, but it's just there to provide some extra firepower. The other gun that you have is it's like a grapple hook type of thing. It plants a hook thing into the ground and it'll slow down the monster if he traps it, making him less likely to move around and easier to hit. Other than that, the only thing else on the class is your pet Daisy. Daisy is able to sniff out the monster, letting you know where it is and that kind of stuff, and also revive incapacitated teammates if she is still alive during the fight. She can be killed by the monster. Alright, the next one we have here is the Support class, and probably one of my least favorite ones to play. This one is just all around, it's between damage and between making sure your teammates are shielded. You have a type of machine gun, and then you have what looks to be a orbital strike, which only works outside. So at this point, we were kind of screwed with that because of the fact that we couldn't even, I couldn't even use it inside. So I think I only got maybe one hit off of him on the outside.
Holy
but it
shit.
really didn't help because he was in stage 3. There's a cloaking thing. You also get the cloak that cloaks your whole team.
Get me up! It's important. Then I can heal you.
And that is pretty helpful if you're trying to come up on the monster without being seen. And the last thing that you get is a personal shield thing that you can shield a teammate with, which is pretty cool. You know, the monster's going after a medic or something like that. All you got to do is put that on the medic, and the medic can survive a few hits, and then the monster has to go focus somebody else. So all around, this class is probably the least fun to play because if you get stuck inside, your big orbital strike can't really do too much, and you're really kind of just struggling to find a position that you can help your team with. Alright, the medic. Other than playing the monster, I actually like this class a lot because you get a sense of enjoyment out of helping everybody else. So the medic, you have a sniper rifle, which if you shoot the monster enables a weak vital point that if people shoot they get 2 times damage. Obviously you have a medic gun so you can heal teammates. Your 4 ability is a kind of a pulse wave of of healing, so you can cover like a large ground with an AoE type of thing. And you also get a tranquilizer that slows down the monster. This is very critical for when the shield goes down, that you tranquilize the monster, and actually always make sure you keep him tranquilized, so that way he's not running around, he's slow and everything like that, and helping your team, as well as keeping up with the vital points too. And you can have, I think, a maximum of 2 or 3, and then after that you just make sure your teammates are just well and healed up, and you should have the fight. Alright, so the last one, but certainly not the least, the best role that you can probably play, the most fun, the monster. You start out in the loading screen. Before you even start, you have to pick. You have 3 skill points you got to choose, so you pick which ones you want. You get a rock throw, a pounce, and you also get a fire breath, which is good. You're pretty much, you want to win the game, so you either want to kill other the hunters, or you want to kill the power relay. The only thing is that you can't kill the power relay until you hit stage 3. Now to hit stage 3, you have to kill like the little monsters you see in there and feast on them using your use key, and then you have to fill up your bar. And when you fill up your bar, you fill it up. You have to kill a bunch of stuff, and then you fill it up. And once you fill it up, you press V, you hold down V, and then you evolve, and you get another, I think, 2 to 3 skill points that you get to choose. And after that, you need to do everything over again, or try to hurt the hunters, but you're trying to avoid hunters until you reach stage 3, because once you hit stage 3, that's when you get into your beast mode. You get a lot more shield, you get a lot more health, and you have more damage, you have more skills and everything. So once you do that, you have the choice of either killing them or going for the power relay. And if you kill the power relay, you end the game. If you kill them, you end the game as well. So that is pretty much the monster in a nutshell. There's a lot more things, like the birds that you usually see will tip people off on where the monster is and everything. But other than that, it's pretty simple once you boil it down to that. It's just, you have to make sure that you know where the hunters are and that you're not exposing yourself while you're feasting, or even when you're evolving, because that has happened to me before, where you evolve and you're right next to the group and you just pretty much die because they just shut you up while you were evolving. So yeah, with that being said, let's move on to the performance aspect. Alright, so even this being an alpha, I do feel the need to talk about performance, because we usually see a trend in PC gaming where alpha, beta, nothing gets changed too much in terms of performance to when the game actually comes out. Now, if I want to give an example, I could just throw Titanfall under the bus, where the beta was pretty much like the end product. I know this is still alpha, but we have only about 3 to 4 months before it comes out in February. So I'm expecting a lot to be done, because these guys seem like they care about the game, and it so far is running very fine. Unfortunately, EVGA Precision server does have an issue in the Cry engine, and everything you see on screen is about, except for my GPU and memory core clock and temperature and usage, like the memory usage and the frame rate, like that is times 2. So the game is locked for me at 60 frames. I think it's locked for everybody at 60 frames. I'm not too sure, but I guess that's okay. If you have a 144 Hz monitor, 120 Hz, then you're kind of, SOL, because you can probably get a lot more. I was only getting about I would say about 2 gig of frame buffer. I do have a GTX 980, so I have a lot more than that. My total is 4 gigs on the card, so I wasn't even maxing this out. I could have probably ran DSR on it and gotten away with it. So with that being said, the performance is pretty good, and I can't really complain. If it's like this when it gets released, it'll be completely fine, and I think a lot of people should be able to run it. I'm pretty sure my old 660 could have. I could try if I wasn't so lazy to put it back in my system, but I think they made a good game in terms of performance so far, and hopefully we can see this going. I know one thing I wanted to address was I understand it's an alpha, but I didn't see too many bugs. The only bug I saw when I was playing as the Trapper class, that was probably my second game in, I went up and we got engaged with the monster. As soon as we did, I deployed the kind of shield thing, just shooting him and everything like that, and then all of a sudden he knocks me and he goes after me, he knocks me down, and I go right through the map and I keep going until I die. So that was a bit weird. I didn't see that coming, but other than that, I didn't really encounter too many bugs with the game, which is good because this is an easy fix, and I think they might have even fixed it in the alpha. So knowing that was the only thing I encountered was not too bad. I had a pretty good experience. So in closing, this whole video is not a review of this. It's pretty much just an information video, you know, a little bit of gameplay and everything, and pretty much just some first impressions and thoughts. And so far they've been pretty good. They did a really good job with the way this game runs. The idea of it is really good, and I'm hoping that they can keep the ideas fresh and keep decent maps and everything, and it just being amazing because it has a lot of potential. I enjoyed Left 4 Dead, and this reminds me of Left 4 Dead because of the 4-player co-op, but this actually, the thing I didn't like about Left 4 Dead was it was very linear with the map style, and all of it was just a horde system at certain points, and there was teamwork, but there's not as much teamwork as this because each role plays a vital importance on how to kill the monster, and it just works. And especially with the way they did incorporate voice chat. The matchmaking system's pretty decent. It gives you the option to set the preference on roles, that if you want to play a certain role, you can have that preference. If you don't have a preference, you don't have to play that role, and you can just play whatever you want as a random type of thing. And the best thing was too is that you can play with bots if there aren't enough people, so you don't have to worry about never being in a game type of thing. So that's pretty much it. And if you made it this far, leave a comment if you had a good experience with it, if you played it. If you didn't agree with what I said or something like that, let me know, and thanks for watching. See you next time.